One of the big reasons I love indie gaming is that you have the freedom to create interesting ideas instead of having to stick to the status quo with major release titles. And that's exactly what Small Radio's Big Television is, a new puzzle game with a very interesting aesthetic. But is it enough to be worth your money, or is this just a novel concept that ends up falling flat? Small Radio's Big Television is a puzzle game that has kind of a dioramic level design. You have each of the levels, which are factories that you get to explore, and your goal is to try to find data cassettes. All along the way, while finding these data cassettes, you're working your way through the factory, solving puzzles in order to get through it all and move on to the next factory. The main puzzle is going to be locked doors that are in your way, preventing you from progressing, and to unlock them, you're going to need to find objects within these cassette tapes. Exploring the factories, you're going to come across quite a lot of cassette tapes that transport you to a virtual world once found. Now, these virtual worlds can be stuff like a snowy mountain, or a forest, or even just psychedelic stuff like the inside of a kaleidoscope. The other styles of puzzles will have you finding gears and taking them to different rooms and getting mechanisms to work again, turning valves in the right directions in order to drain water from a room to reach a door that's underneath of the water. You'll also have to find plenty of switches and then go back to kind of the central main door that's locked once you found all the switches amongst the factory in order to get through a door. There's a decent variety, but it's nothing too spectacularly or mind-blowing as far as the puzzle design ends up going. The real joy that is this game is finding the cassette tapes and going to the virtual worlds and exploring them in order to progress. While there is story that is told in the game, a lot of it is done vaguely, it's mysterious, you kind of gotta piece things together. Between factories, you're in a dark room, turn on a cassette player, and that's how the story ends up unfolding before you're dropped into the next factory and are solving puzzles once again. Controls in the game are extremely simple. You basically have like a mouse-like pointer. You can go through doors, solve puzzles, and rotate the diorama-like factories itself so you can reach all the doors in the factory. There's a bit more to it, but that's really kind of diving into spoiler territory and is only at the very, very end of the game. From the technical side of things, everything ran smoothly, it didn't crash on me, there was no major glitching or bugs of any major note. I will say the game is, of course, pretty short. I was able to get through the 5 factories in just a little over an hour. There was a couple collectibles I missed throughout with the cassette tapes as far as they're concerned, but I was able to find everything that I needed in order to progress and complete the game. It is available on the PlayStation 4 though for $11.99. It does not feature a full trophy list or a platinum, unfortunately. For me, it took a little over an hour to get through, but for others it may take shorter or longer depending upon how quickly you're able to solve the game's puzzles and how long it takes you to find all the hidden cassette tapes and such through each of the factories. When you beat the game, you can revisit any of the previous factories so you can collect anything that you ended up missing along the way. This is one of those games where I really like the entire idea. I like the design, I like the whole factories and cassette tapes and the virtual worlds, and there's some really cool stuff here, but unfortunately there's just not enough of it to be a hard recommendation for me, so I'm going to be giving the game a 5 out of 10. But anyway guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course I hope you enjoyed.